So previously we were looking at our drums, we were looking at our 808, and we were looking at, kind of like just the groove of things, kind of looking at why I chose the sounds that I chose, and kind of like talking about quality of drum sounds, layering all my hi-hats and panning them, and kind of just giving it the treatment that I usually give it. So today we're going to be looking at arrangement. Now, arrangement is one of those things where it's a bit of for me, it's quite abstract in the sense that I had to kind of learn through trial and error, but essentially it's creating a narrative using your music, so having a start, middle, and an end. But in musical terms or contemporary music, it's more time. It's like chorus, verse, chorus, middle eight, chorus, and end. So I'm going to show you what I did with the beat and how I structured did my arrangements, and also looking at transitions and how important transitions are. So let's have a look at the screen. You're going to hear the fan going off again, so don't be alarmed. So I'm looking at this now thinking, right, I like to do a bit of a vocal thing on the intro. So I'm going to give myself an 8-bar intro, and then just before we go into the verse, something happens.
We must get out of this house right away.
We must get out of this house right away. Now, the reason why I used that was because it was the start of quarantine, and I just felt like it fit how I felt. And also, it's a nice transition into the change from those chords into the more choppier part, into the verse. So for me, it leads nicely into the drums and the verse part. But let's hear it. Let's listen to it without. And let's listen to it with.
We must get out of this house right away.
It's almost like it glues it together. Now, I used speech. You can use synth effects. You can use anything as long as it sounds right and it makes sense. Now, it's a bit low for me, so I'm going to turn it up. Let's have a listen again.
We must get out of this house right away.
I made sure to also cut it on right away, and also I kind of moved it about a little bit just to make sure the timing of the actual voice and what they're saying kind of goes.
We must get out of this house right away.
So it's on right away, and then it's on the kick. Do you know what I mean? It connects nicely. Okay, so we've got an 8-bar intro. Let's widen this. We've got an 8-bar intro. Then we've got 16, 16, 16. And then this is just one long kind of verse and a breakdown thing going on. Now, previously when we were looking at drums, we had two different types of drums. And that's because I wanted to make a distinct pre-hook part. So let's have a listen to that. So you can hear you've heard you can hear the chords coming back in, and then it's just these different type of drums, and then we go back into the drums I used in the verse. Now I'm going to show you here an example of what I would do to fill that space or transition into the hook or the pre-hook part. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. I've got this part here. So I've got those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in. I need to fill it out. I need to do something. So what am I going to do? Take this channel, we'll duplicate it, get rid of that guy. I'm going to bring up my packs, type in trans. Let's see what happens. Transitions and descend. I want something that's going down, not up, but going from high to low. So let's see what we've got. Let's see. I like that already. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put it into the session, but now I need to tinker with it. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I think I've found where it should start. Now I need to figure out where it's going to end. I think it's going to end right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shorten it, have another listen. Okay, it's still a bit loud, and I also want to EQ some of that low off. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring out our EQ, because I don't want it to clash with anything. So I just want to make sure that that low end isn't there. And like I said, I've chosen something that's going from high to low, and it's really important that that you understand that the dynamic of what's going on. I'm going into my hook part. The hook is quite somber and quite blue in nature, so I want to make sure that it's a nice landing. It's almost like a plane landing. Okay, it's too low now. Okay, so it needs a bit of a tail, so I'm just gonna take it out a little bit. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's make sure it's tight. See how it sounds now. That sounds loads better. I'm gonna get that Abbey Roads, put it in here. I'm gonna make it turn it up to there, see how it feels. Let's give it a go. That sounds right. Let's take it from here, from the 8. Cool. I feel like it needs to be a bit wider, so I'm gonna put a stereo imager on it as well, just to give it that feel. I'm gonna put it on after the reverb because I want the reverb to feel wide as well. I'm gonna push it out, see what happens. I like that, but then it's made it a bit too loud, so I'm going to bring it down. Now it's too low, so it's just about finding that sweet spot. Okay, I don't quite like the sound of that, so what I might just do, just turn it up a little bit, just turn it up a little bit so it's there. That's too much. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it where it happens, where it's supposed to happen. Yeah. So right here as well. Am I correct? Nope. I need to take a step back. And that last one there. Last one there. Oh, no, I need to go back by 4. There we are. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use something else because we are not coming down again like the other two. We're going up. So we're going we're taking the energy curve up. Now, what do I mean by energy curve? And what I mean is this. When it comes to energy, you go from here, up, down, and up, and then down. All the popular songs that you hear use the same formula. I've learnt this from a book called The Addiction Formula, which essentially borrows from the psychology behind addiction and how there's two phases within the addiction cycle. So there's the anticipation and then it's the high. Music, popular music, especially like pop, especially rap, especially R&B, they use a lot of that tension and the high. So the high being the chorus and the tension being the verses. So I need to bring that energy up because those drums are pretty tight and pretty busy. So let's go back to our packs. Let's see if I can find something good. So let's try drums again. The thing what I like about Ableton is I can search for things really quickly. Okay, so what I'm actually looking for is a riser. Okay, I like that one there. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to put it here. And we're going to start to experiment and see where it needs to start and end. So it needs to start here. Let's see if that will work. And then I think it needs to end around here. Let's see. Okay, it's a bit too much. Let's see. Oh, that kick doesn't look that nice, does it? Let's give it the space it needs. Okay. Okay, back to the riser. Okay, let's go a bit further back. Okay, I'm going to give it a bit more of a tail. Just to make it feel a little bit tighter. And then cool, I'm happy with that. Let's take it back to the 8. I'm happy with that. I do not mind that at all. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it here. And I'm gonna use it here. Let's have a listen how it sounds here. It works. I think it works really well. I also think I'm going to tinker with it a bit more because I really want to get a bit more reverb out of it. I think what I'll do it now. And I'll use a reverb. I'll use the little plate and see if that can help me out. Because what I'm essentially looking for is space. I'm trying to fill that space a bit more. I'm trying to not have it as in your face as much. Right, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen now that the wet, it's quite high. Let's see how that sounds. I like that. That feels a lot more like something happening with a bit of body. I'm going to freeze frame it because my laptop's old. I'm going to turn it into audio. with the effects printed on it, I wouldn't recommend this, because I've been, if I was starting out and I was doing that, to 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, oh, I wanna be able to, change things. I want to go back into it and make some changes. But for me, I've got to a point where I'm kind of confident, and I'm like, all right, cool. Anything I do, I want to make sure it's printed on, because my computer is it's old, and I want to make sure that it doesn't die on me. So I've got into a habit of actually bouncing things in place really quickly. I wouldn't suggest it, but if you're confident and you've got a piece of gear that isn't the most responsive and doesn't deal well with VSTs, I would suggest it, but comes with a warning. You can't change things. I mean, you can Command Z or undo, but you just got to be careful. Yeah? Right, this is freezing the arrangement, and then I'm gonna bounce it down and make it into an audio file. Now, for me, when I'm talking about and thinking about arrangement, I'm always thinking vocals. I'm also always thinking about the end product. I'm also thinking, I don't want to overdo it. The most complex stuff is my drums. Everything else all the music's pretty straightforward. Do you know what I mean? So that allows the vocalist to have space for the vocals to do something. And because I vocal my own beats most of the time, I'm producing for me, so I know exactly where I want to be. Okay, so that's my transitions, and that's my arrangement, really. I really just want to recap that. I started off with an 8-bar intro, and then I did a 16 and 16 and 16. But what the thing with my hook is that, on my chorus, is that I split into 2 8s. So there's a pre-hook, and then there's the actual hook with all the drums. After that, what I want to do is, I've kind of done a long kind of bridge, where I'm doing something different, and I kind of want to change it up. I might come back and add some strings and stuff, but I want to keep it open. And then we added some transitions. We talked about the addiction cycle. We talked about how popular music nowadays, it's all about keeping people, taking them on a ride, highs and lows, tension and the high. My aim for you guys is to, first of all, just experiment, but second is to do a bit of research. Like, if you know what your music is meant to do, then you just got to research and find what works out best for you. I'm trying to make music that will get played on the radio, that will get bought, and I'm trying to make a living out of it. So it's in my interest to understand how things are done. This isn't, one shoe size fits all approach. This is what have worked for me. But I hope that you understand. I've taken a few gems from this lesson today around arrangements. Look into energy. Look into energy curves. Look into the book, The Addiction Formula. And I also share the guy who wrote it, his YouTube channel at a later time, so you guys can kind of get your fingers dirty and kind of just have a good gander. But on that note, I'm signing out. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. My name's Hamdi. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.